Howdy, gang. Did you guys know that I used to do stand-up comedy like a million years ago, back when the pandemic was a punk band? I don't know, whatever. Listen, I used to go up in front of people and tell jokes and make them as miserable as I'm making you with my terrible sense of humor. But I never stopped writing jokes in my phone like the way the little hipster kids do it. So I wanted to share those jokes with somebody, and the only options were to like go out to do open mics, or I could just make a video and share them with you guys. So here we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chuckle Hut, where I'm going to tell you some jokes that I wrote in no particular order, as opposed to the order I just pulled them out of my phone. You guys see, I shaved the side of my head, which is good for the top of my head, but I actually had, you ever heard of the laser hair removal? It's wild to me because I didn't even know lasers had hair. There's jokes about pedophilia, but those are always touchy. A lot of people don't like it, but I've got a period joke that I like to tell sometimes, but not everybody knows a lot about the 1800s, so I'll avoid that one. Any D&D fans out there? I was playing one time and I got killed by a hippopotamus with one hit. Yeah, it was a real hypocrite. Okay, anyways. You guys ever heard of the Japanese suicide forest? You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? Do you think before they named it that, it was just called like the mysterious forest of unfortunate smells? Okay, next one. I feel betrayed when I go to a store and feel like they've moved the stationery. I don't like to joke about alcoholism, but I absolutely will. It's weird. It's probably the weirdest disease where like in the beginning it's super fun and then it just gets worse and worse as time goes on. Like, could you imagine somebody having polio and then like it's super awesome in the beginning and then they just slow. Okay, here we go. Hey, does anybody want to build like a close personal relationship with someone with no romantic or sexual desires? I'm asking for a friend. All right, how do you know if a pun is going to be scary? It'll be a dead giveaway. Here we go. So this is something, as an Atlantean, I like to talk about this because some people, prefer Pepsi as drinks. And I think the international motto for Pepsi is Pepsi okay? Because you go to places and you order a Coke, and that's the first thing that they're going to ask you is Pepsi okay? Which is fine. It's fine. Because I'm just going to order a Sierra Mist. Well, a Starry now. You know what I mean? Like, no one's considering, like, nobody wants a Pepsi from another country as a special treat. You go to stores and they're like, oh my god, they have Mexican Coke. No one's ever like, do they have Mexican Pepsi? I feel like the crimes of Yogi Bear stealing so many picnic baskets is not so much like the $5 worth of food and more like the $30 custom heritage picnic basket that had like grandma's engagement ring in it, with a $50 bottle of wine. Like, it's always the basket that they're worried about and not like the ground cloth that they inherited from their dead grandfather. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot going on with that. Guys, you guys are with me when you get asked to move something and maybe you've got a partner and they want to help, a lady partner. And so you're trying to move it with all your big guy muscles, and then they're just kind of trying to defend it like a basketball player. They don't want to touch it or be underneath it or around it or get hurt, but they want to feel included in the process. I'm going to donate all my organs when I die because I can't even play piano, so why would I be keeping those? Here we go. I don't like terms with repetition like breakfast cereal or chewing gum or corrupt politician, racist cops or underpaid teachers. I just don't like underwater diving. Like, we get it. Shitty Nissan. Like, we don't need the extra words. Okay, I've been doing a lot of work outside at my house. I've been working on my backyard. I'm thinking about putting in a gate, but I'm still on the fence. My doctor told me that it was time to come clean because she's concerned that my cum is too dirty. She said it shouldn't be brown. And then she wants to, you know, get to the bottom of where they contaminate. Anyway, okay, here we go. I want to okay, so I have a business idea. I want to open a women's dispensary, right? Where we sell cannabis just to women. And it's called Fried Women's Shelter, and it's going to be right next to the Battered Women's Shelter. Okay, I've never read the book Frankenstein, but I imagine it's about the friends we made along the way. I found out a blacksmith, one of the local hobbyist blacksmiths in my town, he was making a piece of metal that you would put in a horse's mouth, and I realized he was working on a bit. Okay, next joke. Wizard's staff is just the people that work for him, right? Which is still magical. How do you know a pirate's racist? It's because he's going to drop all the hard R's. Am I right? You know what I'm talking about? Here we go. I got a nice watch, but I almost never wear it because the second hand, it kind of ticks back and forth in a weird way, and I'm just not a man who likes sloppy seconds. You know what I'm saying? All right, I've tried magic briefly at one point in time, but the only card trick I ever wish I could get to work was sending a greeting card to my dad to get him to come back. All right, that one hit a nerve. Here we go. You know, I'm not a hunter, but if I was someone to raise animals for food or to go out hunting, I feel like I would eat all of the meat except for that meat between the balls and the asshole, because that's tainted. All right, you get it. You know what I'm talking about. I 4th of July, I went out to get some Roman candles, but I accidentally got Romani candles. They work the same, except for they stole my wallet and they married a minor. Here we go. I read a lot. I like to write and I like to read. One of the books that shaped me the most was probably the one that fell on my head as a child. You still see the dent. Everybody's always talking about grave danger, but no one ever talks about the lesser known mausoleum, caution, or urn, fearfulness, or a barrel of acid, general disarray. Okay, here we're daylight. Seems like a crass term. Can't we just call it like outspoken lady of daylight? All right, more jokes. I got a couple more. Here we go. I've already come so far, you might as well wipe it up before the stain sets in. Last joke right here is, I think it's weird that they sell used sex dolls, and if you kiss them, do they taste like raw potatoes? All right, that's all the jokes that I'm going to tell you. I hope you liked them. Super rapid fire in front of my brick wall that you just watched me draw. My name's AJ. I'm not ashamed to admit it. If you like those jokes, send me a like. If you got better jokes, put them in the comments. And we'll catch you guys later. Okay, goodbye. Okay, goodbye.